I saw it while she was dressing for the ball, a small mark on her shoulder blade, 3 dots in a line. The servant's mark from my household. Impossible. I only married royal blood. But as she turned, the candlelight caught her face just so, and memory struck like lightning. A servant girl, years ago, whose sister I'd worked to death, who'd looked at me with eyes burning not with fear, but with promise. "My lord?" My wife smiled now, that perfect, practiced smile. "You look pale, like you've seen a ghost. Just remembering something." "Good." Her smile changed. "That's exactly what I've been waiting for. I built my power on broken backs. Servants were tools, things to be used, replaced, discarded. I never bothered learning names, never looked them in the eyes. Why would I? They were beneath me, beneath my noble blood, until I married her. She came with papers proving royal lineage, letters from foreign courts, a dowry that made lesser nobles weep. Everything perfect, everything proper. I remember our wedding day, how the servants whispered she was too good for me, how she touched their hands, knew their names, showed them kindness I called weakness. "They're people," she'd say, "not furniture." I laughed then. I'm not laughing now, because memories keep surfacing. A servant girl 3 years ago, whose sister collapsed cleaning my halls, who begged for mercy, who watched her sister die because I wouldn't call a doctor, who vanished the next day. I never saw her face clearly, never bothered looking. But last night, as my wife slept, I studied her features, the curve of her jaw, the set of her lips, the way her hands, even in sleep, looked used to work. This morning, I questioned the steward about her background. He turned pale, stammered about royal verification. Then I saw it, a flash of conspiracy in his eyes. He knew. They all knew. My perfect royal wife moves through our halls like she owns them. Because she does. Every servant answers her first. Every guard watches her closer than me. Every noble comment carries double meaning. I married a princess. But I'm starting to think I married something far more dangerous. Justice with a royal mask. The signs were everywhere once I started looking. How she always wore high-necked gowns, hiding the calluses servants get from carrying water. How she knew every secret passage in the castle, routes only servants use. How my wine started tasting strange, but only when she poured it. I watched her at dinner parties, playing the perfect noble wife. But now I saw the act. The too straight posture, the too perfect manners, the studied grace that came from years of watching, learning, planning. My servants started disappearing, not dying, not running, just rising. The maid who used to scrub my floors, now a lady's companion in a distant court. The stable boy I'd whipped, a merchant growing richer by the day. The cook I'd cursed, owner of 3 taverns now. She was building an army of the people I'd broken. "Darling," she said one evening, "you seem troubled." I studied her face across the dinner table. "Tell me about your childhood palace." "Which one?" Perfect smile. "Summer or winter?" "Either." She spun a tale of marble halls and royal gardens, but her hands, her beautiful lying hands, gripped the knife like someone used to peeling potatoes. That night, I searched her chambers while she bathed, found letters in servants' code, found plans written in common hand, found a small box containing a servant's worn dress. When I confronted her, she just smiled. "Took you long enough, my lord." "Who are you?" "Look at me." Her voice changed, dropped its noble accent. "Really look at me." I did. and remembered. A girl kneeling beside her dying sister. A promise whispered in common tongue. You'll remember us one day. All of us. Helena, I breathed, the sister's name. The one who... The one you worked to death. Her smile turned sharp. The one whose sister you never bothered to notice. The one whose family you destroyed because we were nothing to you. My guards didn't come when I called. My servants didn't answer my shouts. They're mine now, she said softly. They always were. You just never looked them in the eyes to see it. I ran, through halls where portraits of her false lineage hung, past servants who watched with knowing eyes, toward doors that slowly closed before me. The funny thing about nobility, her voice followed me, is that it's just an act. One I learned by watching, by serving, by remembering every detail while you never noticed me at all. I turned to face her, my wife, my servant, my doom. What do you want? Her laugh carried years of patience. Everything you have, everything you are. She stepped closer. And I already own it all. She had me cornered in my own great hall. My hall, where I'd once made servants kneel. You can't do this, I snarled. I am a duke, and I'm a servant. She moved like royalty now, mask finally dropping. One who learned that power isn't in the blood. It's in the watching, the waiting, the serving until you can rule. Every door opened. Servants entered, but not as servants anymore. My old stablemaster, now wearing merchant's gold. My former maids in fine dresses. Guards who'd once been beggars I'd whipped. All wearing that same patient smile. You see, she circled me, while you were busy being noble, we were busy becoming powerful. Real power. The kind that builds empires while lords sleep. The other nobles will never. Already have. She laughed. Your peers? They've been dealing with us for years. Trading with my merchants. Borrowing from my moneylenders. Marrying their children to my noble allies. Memory hit like poison. Deals I'd signed without reading. Property transferred to names I didn't check. Power flowing away while I celebrated my royal marriage. Your entire world, she whispered, now serves me, just as I once served you. I drew my sword. She didn't flinch. Going to kill your wife? Your royal bride? Imagine the scandal. I'll expose you. Tell everyone what you really are. A servant? Her smile cut deep. Tell them. Tell them how you were fooled by someone you thought beneath you. Tell them how you never looked us in the eye, never learned our names, never thought we could rise. My sword hand shook. Tell them, she stepped closer, how your cruelty to my sister built all this, how your arrogance blinded you, how a servant girl brought down a duke by simply becoming what he thought impossible. The blade clattered to the floor. She picked up my sword with practiced grace. The funny thing about serving? Steel touched my throat. You learn all the best ways to rule. I looked into her eyes, really looked, and finally saw justice wearing a servant's face, vengeance in royal robes, power that had served its way to the throne. Kneel, she commanded, and for the first time in my life, I served. They kept me alive. That was the cruelest part. I live now in the servants' quarters I once ruled, watching my kingdom run better under common hands than noble ones. She still plays the perfect duchess in public, still wears her royal mask, but in private, she makes sure I see her true face. The servant girl who learned to rule while serving. The great hall where I once held court now hosts feasts where merchants sit beside nobles, where former servants wear silk, where power speaks in common tongue. My old servants visit sometimes, not to serve, to remind. Remember when I scrubbed your floors? The new royal treasurer asks. Remember how you never learned my name? Questions my former stable boy, now master of 3 trading ships. Each memory a lesson, each visit a judgment, each success a verdict. She keeps me as her personal servant. Poetic justice, she calls it. Makes me pour her wine, makes me kneel when guests arrive, makes me watch as she builds a better world from the ruins of my pride. The thing about serving, she told me yesterday, is that it teaches you everyone's secrets, their weaknesses, their sins. Her smile carried years of patience, their true worth. I serve now. Learn names, look people in the eyes, see what I should have seen before. Power in careful hands, strength in common blood, justice in servants' smile. They say she's the finest ruler this duchy has ever known. Fair to all, kind to servants, respected by nobles who never questioned her rise. And I polish her floors with hands that once held power, serve her meals in halls I once owned. Learn what she always knew. True nobility isn't in the blood. It's in how you treat those who serve. It's in the names you learn, the eyes you meet, the mercy you show, or in my case, the mercy you don't deserve.